Let's talk about these containers here. And not all containers are organizational units. We have some other containers that are defined for us. First of all, we have a built-in container. This is just where all of the built-in groups and users that are built into the system, actually it looks like it's all groups, that's where they exist. They aren't in, since they are not in OUs yet, well, where do we keep them? Well, we'll keep them in this little side container here called built-in. Computers, this is where we have other computers on our domain. Now, right now I don't have any computers, so let's go ahead and add a computer just so we can see it. So here's a client. I'm going to take my client and see if I can get down here. We can see what I'm doing here. I'm going to go ahead and open here the File Explorer. I'll right click this PC. I'll go down to Properties, and then I'll click Change Settings, and we're going to go ahead and join this to the domain. So I'll click Member of Domain Widget LLC, and it needs a domain admin username and password. I'll just use administrator, which is what I'm using here on my domain controller. And it says welcome to the Widget LLC domain, and it says that I have to restart, so we'll go ahead and let that restart. In the meantime, let's go back over here, and you see we don't have any computers there yet. First of all, let's refresh this and see if it pops up yet. I'm going to refresh that. Yeah, it's taking its time. There we go. And there it is. So it has joined the domain now, and now we have a client 01 in the domain, even though it hasn't finished coming back online yet. Nobody's logged into it. As a matter of fact, we made a Fred user earlier. Let's see if we can log in with Fred. So from my client, I'm now logging in as Fred, which is a brand new account that I made a little while ago. Because it's a brand new account, it's going through all this stuff. So there's my client. Then we have domain controllers, which is the only OU that's pre-built for us, and it's got this domain controller in it. Foreign security principles is a container for a security principle is a user, a computer, a group. Those are all security principles, something you can apply permissions to that are outside of our domain. We don't have anything outside of our domain like a forest built yet, so we don't have anything in there. Managed service accounts are those, remember the service accounts when we talked about services? Let's go to services. When we talked about services earlier, we said that, well, we can set these up so that they have a service account. And so this is where those service accounts would live. And then finally we have the users. And this is where all of our users as well as the built-in groups. So you can see the built-in groups show up both here in the built-in as well as here under users. So here's my Fred user, and this is of course where I create all those things, right? And here's my admin OU. It's moved up here now because it was, you know, I created it at the bottom, and now everything's in alphabetical order. So these are the containers, but these are not all of the containers. There are some others you need to know about. If I click View here and go down to Advanced Features, now I get some additional containers that were hidden, but now they're not hidden. And so you might want to know a little bit about those as well. Specifically, let me see here. Keys, these are for keys that let's see, how shall I put this? When we have certificates and we have encryption, we usually have somebody who is in charge of keeping those keys, and this is where that's done. I'm not going to get any deeper into that than that. The lost and found, what's that about? Well, let's say that I have, as I do up here in my OUs. I've got my HR, and I've got somebody in my HR. I've got the HR group and then Fred in the HR group. And let's say that I delete this HROU. Well, where's that account going to go? Well, it's going to go into the lost and found, because it doesn't know what container it belongs to anymore, so now it's going to go into lost and found. All right, so those are really the ones that I think you'll need to know about for the MTA, but those are just containers, and again, they are not OUs unless they're specifically called OUs. Otherwise, they're just places where things that are not in OUs can live.